Now, of course, on top of the actual aims which I have covered earlier and I mentioned earlier with regards to providing new data in your research or answering a specific question or an issue or a problem, or perhaps testing or refining an existing hypothesis or theory or methodology, or proposing a new idea, a new concept, or a new hypothesis, or a new theory, or a new methodology. On top of that, and also on top of having the idea that theory and practice are linked together in translation studies and not, there is no hostility and no suspicion in there, well, you need as a researcher, when you are starting to do research, you need to develop some personal interest in and enthusiasm for your own research. Because if you don't have personal interest in your research and you're not enthusiastic about your research and you are very keen to highlight or to discuss certain parts of your research, then it might be because it's a long process, and if you are not interested, you don't have personal interest in your own research, then you shouldn't choose a research that is that you are not interested in. Now, of course, your initial idea of research can be exciting or is exciting, but it might have been already researched before, or it might not be feasible or worth researching. So you need to make sure that this idea of yours, which you are coming up with, you think that it is an initial and it is yours. It could be, it is more likely that it will be already researched, at least maybe part of researched or fully researched before. Or it might not be feasible even, and it's not worth researching. So what you need to do, here you need to find out what's been done or what has been done or what is the current status of research in the field of translation studies and interpreting studies. And that is, why do you do that? In order to establish if, first, the purpose of your research is to add knowledge, to add the sum of knowledge. That is very, very important. Also, that is to establish if the research you are undertaking is not done in a vacuum, but it is related to what has been done before. You need to know what has been done before. In other words, you need to know previous research. Even what's done before, in your opinion, might be worthless. You need still to substantiate, to support your idea, to substantiate it with evidence. And the word evidence here is extremely, extremely important. And you need also to justify your own approach and say, why are you following this approach? That is yet another very important element after your initial idea of research which you have chosen. So the research that you have chosen needs to be you need to be interested in personally, and you need to have some enthusiasm for such research. And you need to establish, because it could be exciting, but you need to establish if it's done before, if the research has been done before, and if it's really reasonable or possible to research it, or it's not worthwhile researching at all. So you are trying to read about the current status of research in order to establish if your research is going to add the sum of knowledge. If your research that you're doing is not, you need to relate it to other scholars who have done it before you. So you need to read for other scholars. Even what they have done before could be, in your opinion, very silly or useless or futile or worthless. You need to substantiate that idea of yours, and you need to justify your own way of doing research.